listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
There was this one time I went snorkeling in the Caribbean when I was a kid. It really just blew my mind. We saw the most beautiful corals. I remember thinking they were waving at us as they moved with the ocean. And then there were all these amazing fish. I'll never forget it. It completely changed the way I look at the ocean.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Grammer. Wounded Warrior Project supports injured veterans by connecting them with fellow warriors, by serving them through mental health and wellness programs, and by empowering them to live on their own terms. No one should face a battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Yeah, I think it's important.
All right, we're on, man. We're on. This is Thunder Thursday, baby. We're here. We're here. This is Tony Marmer. We have a new host sitting in for Val Dwyer for a couple of Thursdays here coming up. Don Mapes, welcome, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Love it. Thank you so much for stepping up. We had a good chat Saturday at Dysing's. That's the center of the Kingston universe. Huh?
Yeah, it sure is. It's because all the goodies down there.
All the goodies there, man. There's good stuff and good people there. And we actually picked up one of our guests there. Well, not picked up the guest, but we found a guest.
Yeah, you're up.
Yeah, right. So thank you. I mean, you're a native of Kingston. You've seen it all, man. You've seen it all over the years, and the good, the bad, the ugly, right?
Yeah. I've done seen it all, but it's still hopeful. As we were saying, there's still a lot of good in this world. There's a lot of good people, regardless of all the bombardment of the negative and nasty, there's still good people, man. Yeah. Still people still rooted in here, families. Absolutely. And stuff like that. And that's why I stay here, really. I mean, as a pastor, I travel. I get to go to South Africa, Jamaica, Haiti, all these other countries, because that's my job description. So I have to go.
Where in Africa? South Africa?
South Africa, all over. I've been Mossel Bay, George, Zambia, Zimbabwe, all the southern,
Haiti, where you been in Haiti?
I've been in Haiti. I can't pronounce them names because it's French.
I know. I've been there a couple
Marla
times.
Bay is one of the big cities.
Port-au-Prince is right, the major city.
Right, that's where you fly into.
But we spray out.
Yeah, we go into a country. I went with this lady, the Haitian lady over there, who has family and stuff over there, and So it was really nice. I mean, we had a great time. And,
it is a poor country, man.
Very poor.
Beyond
very
doubt.
Poor.
I mean, and folks around here have no concept of poor.
No. We don't have a clue. I mean, there's no
clue, man.
There's nobody in this country that should be complaining about anything. When you have to walk 4 or 5 miles every day just to get water, just to start your day, jumpstart your day, to cook, to clean, to do everything, and it's an everyday occurrence, for them. But
I was there in 2018, and it impressed me so much. I came back here, and I'm saying, boy, we don't have a clue. We don't have a clue. I mean, garbage, it looked like the town landfill, but it was a street.
Yeah.
Just littered. The beautiful oceans, beaches that they have littered with plastic, man.
Yeah.
Littered. Open sewage in the street. No traffic lights. We went to a place called Cap Haitian, which is up in the north, and took a little plane flight up there, which was also kind of cool, but, unbelievable. The healthcare system, non-existent.
Yeah.
Non-existent.
Yeah.
Educational system, pretty much non-existent.
Yeah. It was like Haiti. One of the amazing things that we were staying there, and every morning you get up and you go by this hotel. Mm-hmm. I mean, medical place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's people standing out there like 5:30 in the morning that come from all different places.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee that you're even going to get in the building.
No, I know.
But that's still the reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes I always tell people you need to get on the plane and go with me, and then you come back and you won't be complaining no more. When you really see what we have, how blessed we are in this nation to have, everything that we have. Look at Sam's Club. It's a food warehouse. I mean, and people are picking out of garbage cans and everything all over the place. I think sometimes we forget that 94% of the world does not live in America.
Yeah, right.
Their dynamic and their life is something so totally different.
Yeah.
But they're so joyful and so peaceful, and they're so receptive for the little bit of help and the stuff that we come to do for them.
Absolutely. I have a good, I used to say pen pal, but now we're on, electronic messaging in Kampala in Uganda.
Oh, okay.
And he's a great young man. I mean, we're talking about youth and the next generation following us, doing community activity like Val Dwyer, of the folks like that.
Yeah.
But this young man is the president of his Rotary Club. He must be not even 30. His name is Samba Henry, and he sends me photos there in Kampala where they are, and I just shake my head. I send him $100, and he thought I sent him $1 million.
Oh yeah.
And this is a Rotarian. This is a guy I know. He said, you don't understand how much mosquito netting during the malaria season. This is gonna save $100. Going to save lives.
Oh yeah.
And this is a guy that I trust, and I know where my money's going. He sends me pictures. He said, this is what we're doing, helping teenage mothers that were raped and they have a child and they have to do something raising a child. They're trying to teach them work skills, and they're just helping folks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what
it's the same way, you go to South Africa, my heart, you bleeds because you see like mothers with little kids and they're breaking rocks just to make them for the contractors to come and build, and and that's their life. That's what they do. And getting back to the money aspect, people don't realize like $100 in Jamaica is like $1,500.
Oh yeah.
$100 in South Africa turns into $1,200, $1,500 depending on the market, the stock market. I mean, $100 turns into
multiplier.
For people, just to live, each and every day. But
some folks drop $100, like go out to dinner, $100, no big deal.
Yeah,
1 hour, 2 hours, So we keep all that in perspective, I think, right? So I saw another, not to go from kind of sort of good stuff to not so good stuff.
Yeah,
another shooting in Kingston.
Yeah, another shooting on Van Buren Street. Breaks my heart. That way. But as a
out of towner guy looked like, right?
I haven't seen it all yet, but like I said, it just breaks my heart. To me, we have lost the sense of humanity and brotherhood and love for one another as a whole, as a society, not just here in Kingston. I mean, it's all over the place. I got family in Poughkeepsie and and it's we got to get back together, I think, as, community, which means common unity, that all of us have something to bring to the table. Yeah. We have become so polarized as a nation, as a community, and everything else. It's like, that's your problem. That ain't my problem. But sooner or later, that's going to step up on your door as well. Absolutely. And I, I try to do as much as I can, with the boys club and interact with, the youth. I was a football coach for 16 years, the junior football league, and, letting the kids know, about what it's all about.
Beyond football, football as a metaphor, if you will. We're trying to have teamwork here. Yeah. We don't care what color your skin is, what your race. We don't care any about that stuff. No. We care. We're working together for a common goal.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah, and I think, sometimes everybody thinks, well, what can I do? There's a lot that we can do. There's a lot that you can invest, just your time, just like, the Boys and Girls Club. It was the Boys Club when we went there. Okay? Wasn't no girls involved. But,
it's good that they added a girls, though.
Yeah. But, people who have skills, people who are professionals, it only takes an hour or something to go over there and interact with them kids and let them know that, somebody cares about them, somebody other than, like their environment. Yeah. Take them for, take them up to Bel Air, let them see something different, Exactly. And I also was, doing the jail ministry for 20 years at the Ulster County Jail, and as I was, explaining to you Saturday that, a lot of people don't go past this 4-block environment. Right. And I tell them, go another block. Go 5 blocks, all right? And then another month, go 6 blocks, go 7, go 8, whatever, to see how other people live and to hear different narratives and hear how other people speak. And so we're so closed-minded, I think, sometimes as people, and we have to see that diversity is what it's all about. Absolutely. That we all have different, diverse things that we do, but it just adds to make a community that flourishes
and cares for each other,
right? And
looking out for each other,
right? It doesn't mean
we talked about these cell phones and how they're a blessing and a curse at the same time. But whoever invented the selfie should be shot. Why? Because that means you're all about you.
Right.
Let me take a picture of me. Now I can see if there's a couple people in there, but still. Ask somebody else to take your picture. Yeah. What I mean?
And it's true. I talk about that all the time at church, because it's all about self when we just can't see nothing else. And once we're about self, then it's not my problem anymore. We always divert or deflect because it's not my problem. That's your problem. But hey, we're all our brother's keeper. That's the way I look at it. We're all our brother's keeper, and even just a kind word, sometimes, all right, to somebody, because we don't know nobody else's dynamic. Like you said, that you go to these, we go to these different countries, and like you said, these young girls are being raped and everything. But it happens here in the U.S. But the thing of it is nobody tells. Family business, we don't tell. But still, people live out of that dynamic, out of that pain, out of that hurt, and out of all of that stuff. So, as a community, if we could be more kind, more loving, how are you today? Right.
Exactly.
But don't say how are you today, because somebody's going to open up their mouth. And you might miss your bus. Yes, you might miss your bus. You might miss work, and and so things like that. And I think that Kingston's a great place. I hear so many people say so many negative stuff about this. I grew up on Van Buren Street. I went to St. Mary's, a Catholic school, down in Lower Broad, right? But the community was very diverse then. There was everybody. Yeah, right. I was telling you about the coast is the Italian people. Their family's right off the boat, man. And we'd go to school. I'd pick him up, and I'd smell that sauce. I said, "I'll be back. I'll be back." There was Italian, there was Puerto Ricans, there was Irish, Germans, there was everything. But as a people group, we didn't look at each other as being different. We all lived in the same neighborhood, and we cared for one another.
Played ball together,
everything,
hung out together,
all that, and then if somebody from the neighborhood as kids, you growing up, and you kids will be kids, but the elders, the respect for the elders, that even if they chastise you, okay, By the time you got home, Mama's on the porch waiting for you.
Right.
So, oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah. But I think that's the dynamic for those who are 65 and over. I'm 65. That remember all that stuff. That you could be left with Mrs. Jones when you came home from school. You know what I mean? And she'd watch you until Mama came home, instead of all these latchkey programs and stuff. But that's the dynamic that we're living in now, But
you were talking about Saturday a little bit about intentionality.
Yeah. And yeah, when it comes to different things in changing different things.
Right.
You have to be intentional. It's one thing about talking about it, but you have to be intentional about doing it. But you have to be intentional of dealing with other people groups, other different races, other different cultures, other different things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you believe everything they say or, go with the flow of everything they do.
Agree with 100% of it.
Right. But if we're going to interact, because sooner or later you're going to have an interaction.
Yeah.
And it's the same way, I'm on the police commission. I talk with the police as well. And I talk with them the same thing. You have to be intentional.
Yeah.
Community policing is a great thing, but you got to be intentional. Right. You got to get out the car. You got to start interacting with people and more
have a dialogue.
And more than just getting pulled over or encounter or whatever. Because everybody, I don't care who you are, we all got prejudice and biases.
Everybody. Absolutely.
And it's not a bad thing, but let's deal with the reality that we do.
Yeah,
and it's like I was saying, intentionality means that I wake up today and I say, I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to connect with somebody in a different people group that I know, whether I work with them or whatever connection I have with them, and let's go. Let me see. Let me understand.
Yeah.
Because I think people, once we get a better understanding of who we are as a people, things change. Because if you just allow the news or you allow, what you hear, the perception. Perception's a big thing.
Yeah.
You hear, something about someone from someone else, then you get to meet that person and say, wow, you're not like I heard, so perception's a big thing, and all of us do that, and that's what we have to do. We have to learn to be intentional.
Right. I like that.
Be intentional about interacting, right? Being intentional to come to the table, even though we have differences, and be willing to sit down and listen to the differences that we have. And then
make it personal at that point.
Exactly.
In terms of, let's not start pointing fingers. You might be on one side, I'm on the other side, but let's figure out what we have in common in the middle. Start from that point.
Right. And then come to a solution.
Yeah. We may not agree on everything.
No.
Right?
Because we're not. We're people. We're not going to agree on everything. Right. You don't agree with everything your boss does at work.
Right.
You don't agree with everything that the mayor does. You don't agree with everything the police chief does, and so on and so forth. The president, you can go, and you don't agree everything with your husband and wife as married folks.
Exactly.
Anybody that's married, that.
Yeah.
There's that, but as being, when we fall in love with each other as people, okay, let's look at it from the marriage perspective, okay, we don't always get along as husband and wife,
right?
But because of the love that we have for one another, we're not going to keep that bridge there.
Exactly.
Reconciliation's going to come.
Yeah.
Or it should come.
Absolutely.
As far as a man, unless you want that coal back.
Or the garage or the couch.
Or something. You know what I mean? That, we care enough about the relationship, okay? Because relationships sometimes, even as a pastor, you know what I mean? There's people that don't agree with me, but I agree, I love the people. So the relationship is important, and I'm willing to listen. I don't necessarily have to agree with what you're saying, but I'm going to listen, and we're going to work out something because I care about you. I care about the relationship. So that goes with that intentionality piece, that if you care about the relationship, because we live in a throwaway society. And it's so easy if we're not intentional, or we're not careful about
it's a great message.
Loving people, that it's very easy to throw somebody away. It's very easy to write this person off. It's very easy.
Right. Yeah. And it takes effort to do the other one, right? You can get rid of the person But it takes effort to try to salvage
And
relationships.
then sometimes it's not a quick fix.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we live in a microwavable society where everybody thinks that everything is a quick fix.
90 seconds.
And it's not. You know, everything's are not going to be a quick fix. And, you know, it goes back to the point of what I was saying. And when we start to become relational, when we start being transparent, and we start understanding people, somebody's wounds are deeper than yours.
Yeah.
A lot of times we're like, oh, come on, get over that, you know?
Yeah, move on.
That's your normal, but
Yeah.
for someone else,
Not
that's not
their normal.
because
Right.
the wounds are, you know, are so deep, and as we, like an onion, we start peeling off these layers.
Right.
You know, compassion and sensitivity has to come into play.
Yeah,
You know, and
absolutely.
thank God that wasn't what happened to you, because you know a lot of times I see, you know, with, you know, the whole family structure has been broken down. You know, the fatherless society that we're living in, that
Right.
don't have the voices that maybe I had.
Right, the
You know,
family unit,
you know,
right.
grandma,
Back in the
and, you know,
day.
mom and dad, and you know, aunties and uncles that
Right.
you know would
Like
run-
back in the 60s and 70s, that was more commonplace.
Yes.
You know, the family would get together. Now everyone's scattered to the three winds.
Yeah. And, you know, I was just having a discussion even with the church, you know, Sunday that, you know, you go to the hospital and, you know, they ask you your pain level.
Yeah.
You know, is it
1 or 10.
right? Exactly. So everybody's pain level is different. You know, it doesn't
Yeah.
make them a bad person or it doesn't make them weak, but more people can withstand stuff that other people can't withstand. And as a people group, we have to get back to the place just of the sensitivity aspect, because then it makes you grateful
Right,
for
exactly.
what you had.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for the parents I had. I'm thankful
Yeah.
for the family structure I had. I'm thankful for the community that I grew up at that time, because
Right.
you know they would rally around one another, you know, to make sure if there was a fire or a death,
Right,
or,
absolutely.
you know, these different things that happen, because life just happens. You know, sometimes we be boneheads and you know things happen to
cave
us.
men, cave women.
Yeah, but a lot of times that life just happens. It doesn't mean that you know you're a bad guy.
Right, exactly.
You know, life just happens. But how do we respond as human beings when life just happens to somebody?
Yeah.
You know.
We come to we should be coming to their aid and trying to find a common ground. I mean, it's a holiday season. You would like to see this 12 months a year, right?
Yeah, right.
Looking out for each other, not just in holiday season, but like in the middle of February. You know,
And,
right?
you know, a lot of times we think that we could fix everything with money.
Yeah.
You know, people just want to know
Yeah.
that you care.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. That's right. Just a call, just a whatever. We're going to shift gears a little bit. Let's talk. One of your other passions is trying to build our community and workforce and create some jobs and get people busy, you know, doing something productive. And I want to give a shout out to our county executive, Pat Ryan, and for leading this charge at Tech City and getting that, you know, pile of rubble out there into something productive. You know, that's been a long time. I can remember, Don, when Allen Ginsberg stood up at, I was running Kingston Hospital at the time, we were at Wiltwick, and he got up and said, yeah, I'm buying, you know, IBM, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and that was 1998. Did nothing.
Right.
Couple things, you know, with all fairness. So County Executive Ryan, Tim Wiedemann, Economic Development Director, John Milgram, whole bunch of folks behind the scenes putting this deal together with national resources. And there, a fellow by the name of Joe Cotter and Lynn Ward at the press conference yesterday, they spoke eloquently about, you know, look, we don't have all the answers and we've done this before, but we're going to give this a good run, and you won't recognize this place, you know, when we're finished. And number one business going in there right now, because they transfer it up, ice cream place, ice cream production. I thought that was kind of cool, but they've done this down in Fishkill, former IBM. Their specialty is taking IBM properties that have, you know, been abandoned or sold and rehabbing them. Rehabbing, a little like people. A little like people. Let's rehab it. And so, yeah, it was a positive vibe, good mix of folks there, and, you know, the elected officials working with the private sector, right? You and I are on the workforce development board together.
Yeah.
And so, that's private sector and public sector coming together to do good things. Carpenters.
Right. And that's what it is. I think it's important that, that's another place where we're so separated and everything. And we have to come together, like I said. My whole heartbeat is we got to come together as a people group and work. And
Absolutely.
we got to get jobs here in Kingston. Being in the Carpenters Union,
right.
you got to drive.
I know.
Hour,
Timbuktu, yeah.
Sometimes 2 hours, But it was a great, I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm ever thankful for it. It was a great career.
Right. But it'd be nice if it was local.
Right. Oh, yeah. Everybody likes to work local.
I remember when we put an addition on the Kingston Hospital, I don't know when the heck that was, maybe the mid-'80s or so, how many local Kingston trades men and women were on that job and thankful for that job because it lasted a year and a half. A lot of local folks. And they were so happy that we were doing that. And the same thing with the Benedictine Hospital, any kind of construction, local folks get a chance to stay local and not get in the car. So, it's a good thing that with the Kingstonian, that passed on Tuesday with the Common Council. That's good. That's good. Now we know they're going to create jobs. We just got to have the folks.
Yeah.
We got to have the folks to be in the jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's another thing, and I think going through the Carpenters Union, I went through the apprentice program.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you were telling me that story. Yeah.
Standards, and then they had so many other things, blueprint reading. Set up lasers. So a lot of people don't understand when you go through these training programs, even with the Ulster County stuff that they have that. The availability of other things to help you to market yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
big deal, man.
That, I try to talk to these street guys and the guys in jail and different things that, listen, you get a GED. To me, education is power.
Everything, man.
It's
when everything.
You're educated, you become powerful.
Yeah.
You become a thinker.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
happens when you just get at the straight level stuff and what you're doing. Now you empower yourself to live the life you always wanted to live, but you got to get in the game.
Yeah. You got to be intentional.
Yeah, there you go. And this development, which will help people, and I think that's another thing, because as men, if you can't take care of your family, it's natural instinct,
traditional,
of survival.
Yeah.
If you can't take care of your family, you're going to do whatever. I'm not going to make an excuse for it.
No. You're going to find a way to make money.
Right.
And sometimes
it's not the right thing. But
correct.
I'm the type of guy that's like, okay, what's your problem? Okay, let's do the fact finding. What do you feel is wrong? This and that. So once you gather all the facts, is okay. And now we're going to take all the excuses away.
Right.
Because you said this was the reason why you didn't do. This was the reason why you didn't do. But now we done took care of all that.
Yep.
Now the problem is you. So now we got to deal with you. But I think that's great. I think that's great because it, opportunity. But look at the businesses around here and everything else. The more that the city flourishes, the business flourishes.
Absolutely.
More opportunity, more times to interact, because now people got to come together. Want to eat, want to shop,
right. No, they were talking about a film industry type of setup there, and a stage and so music and arts and putting in a microbrew and where people can come together. I'm sure some restaurants and. So they're going to create a community with some housing as well. With some housing. It's 200 acres out there, man.
Yeah, it's a big place.
It's a big piece of property. So yeah, I think it's going to be very good. It's going to take a few years, certainly. But, in the meantime, we got to keep watching out for each other and, trying to do the right thing. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Right? That's the plan.
And, it's just, and talking. You got to find people's heart.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, we talk about different generations. That's true. But what is really going on?
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't ask the questions, and sometimes we don't give them time to talk.
Right.
No,
I know.
A lot of times,
That's a great Marvin Gaye song, by the way. What's going on? I love that song.
Yeah, and a lot of times we don't give them enough time to speak. We don't give them enough time. The vernacular is different. Everything is different about these young people, But times are changing, soon we'll be riding off into the sun.
Man, I tell you what,
that's
true.
Into the sunset, and biblically, Moses, he had a understudy, which was Joshua. And Joshua, was a great leader. And he was taking over the kids of those who came out of Egypt.
Right.
He's seen the difference, in them, but he knew he's seen God.
Yeah.
And because of that, he go, even though it's different, let's roll with it. And I think a lot of times with us, we get so entrenched in our own thinking, and we get so entrenched in our ways and how we grew up and how we lived, and how, which is
stay
great,
right there, and we don't want to.
Great, but with this technology age, like cell phone and computers,
laptops,
these kids' minds are so.
Yeah.
Even with my cell phone, I'll get a kid. I say, "Hey, kid, come here." What did I do wrong?
Yeah, but we got to work on that because a 5-year-old grandson, 2-year-old granddaughter, and man, they pick up these things already.
Yes.
And that's okay at some level, but they have to have human interaction.
Of course.
Family time, this we put those things away.
Yeah.
Stuff them somewhere, and so we got to keep working on that because I think, and I mentioned this, I think. We're the bridge generation, I think, between, the way it was in the 50s and 60s, post-World War II, and the folks today that are all technology. And we get sucked into the technology, too. But we're the bridge, man. We didn't grow up with this stuff.
No.
And we were out all day playing, and we were doing that. So we're the bridge generation, I think,
Oh, yeah.
And our kids hopefully learn from us that, hey, there's more to the world than just watching TV and, being on your computer and playing games, video games. Get out there and go walk in a park. Go walk on a rail trail. Go help some folks that need some help. Get outside of your world, outside of your 3-4 blocks.
Yeah.
So,
like you said, you got to be intentional.
Absolutely. We got to get. I'm just going to go grab Lawrence.
Okay.
Lawrence, come in here. All right, so we're.
Yeah, because that's, like I said, we could, it's like having a bad neighbor. We can all scream in pleasantries to each other over the fence.
All right.
I'm sorry, I was too busy stuffing envelopes and dealing with school nurses.
Until one of us say, okay, let's break down this fence. Okay, make a table. Let's have a dinner and sit down.
I love that. Yeah. We should be having John Masurgeon call in. I think he's going to be doing that. And
Do you want to go to break first, or I think he's calling right now, or do you want to just put him on the air and keep going?
We can keep going. That's fine. We got to.
No, we can definitely keep going.
John, let's go to break.
All right, you want to take a call? Okay.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
This is Greg Jarvis, and once again, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund is asking you to help the needy this holiday season. For the last 50 years, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund has helped less fortunate families have a happier holiday. Look for our collection boxes at the local branches of the Ulster Federal Credit Union, Rondout Savings Bank, the Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, Ulster Savings Bank, and at the Kiwanis Ice Arena in Sorges. Thank you very much, and have a happy and Merry Christmas. Hi, I'm Steve Thomas for Habitat for Humanity Restore. Habitat Restores are nonprofit home improvement stores and donation centers that sell new and gently used furniture, building materials, and appliances to the public at a fraction of the retail cost. The Ulster County Restore at 406 Route 28 in Kingston needs your donations. Call our hotline at 845-853-7499 to schedule your free pickup. And thanks.
Hi, this is Winnie from the Rosendale Seniors, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio has been brought to you by the First Savings Bank in Ulster County that still remains local to this day. Ulster Savings Bank, a community bank that's invested in local business, invested in community, invested in you. Ulster Savings Bank, your one-stop resource for everything local. Locations throughout the Hudson Valley and online at ulstersavings.com. Member FDIC.
President. Okay, folks, we're back. This is Thunder Thursday. We're on my good man, my brother from another mother, Don Mapes, with us. John Masurgeon, welcome and good morning. Meet Don Mapes, Reverend Don Mapes.
Hello, Mr. Mates, Reverend Mates. How are you?
Very well. How are you, sir?
You can call him Don, I think.
I'm doing something for the first time here. I popped up the YouTube channel, so.
Oh, no kidding.
I can see you in person.
You watch. Okay, you're seeing us. Yeah, you listen a little bit. We had a good. Don is a big community activist involved in a lot of stuff on the police commission, pastor of a local church, guy that's walking the streets, and a Kingston native, and so he's got the pulse, man. He knows what's happening in the Kingston area and probably a little beyond too, right? Yeah. Probably that whole entire area that Central Hudson covers, he knows about.
Yeah. I'm sure.
So it was good seeing you, John, at the Council of Industry luncheon, I don't know, a few weeks ago.
Yes, it was. It was a great event. Very encouraged by some of the job numbers they talked about and, what's happening with workforce development. It's all vitally important to our area.
Very positive.
It truly is. Along those lines, great news about what's happening at Tech City too.
Yes.
Finally getting, a developer with a decent track record.
Yeah.
To reimagine that space. They've done a great job here in Dutchess County in the
I-84.
I-Park
84. Yeah. No, you can talk about that a little bit because it's that was a former I'm not sure it was exactly IBM, but this big IBM area down there in East Fishkill.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it was actually a chip plant
that
IBM ran for a long time. Then IBM paid Global Foundries to take part of that facility. But now there's quite a bit going on there. There's of course, Global Foundries and IBM are still there. Imagine, which is a tech company,
right.
This county is there now too. Crepini is a company that makes crepes. They sell nationwide. They moved up from Brooklyn to the site. Hudson Valley
say
Sloop,
crepes?
Frito-Lay, Hudson Valley Sloop. I'm sorry, is a
Sloop is a beer place.
Brewery that opened there.
Yeah.
But there's a film studio that was announced this summer that's going to go in there. Frito-Lay is going to have a distribution center there. So
they're saying a couple of $100 million, in investment here in Ulster County, which is fantastic. And most of us that have been around for a long time, Don and I, remember, the IBM days of prosperity and a lot of good things were happening. Small businesses blossoming, right?
Yeah. Right.
And then that changed, but I think this is fantastic news, and hopefully folks will decide to get off the couch and stop eating the Frito-Lay chips and watching Netflix and get to work.
It was boom time here in the Hudson Valley when IBM had such a dominant presence, and we do appreciate that, but we need some economic diversity.
Yes.
Definitely.
And this is kind of important.
Yeah.
I look at some of the old Central Hudson newsletters to employees, and from the 20s, 30s, and 40s, and there were a lot of different types of businesses here, manufacturers. It really was a very, very diverse area economically, and that all kind of fell to the wayside when IBM became the more dominant industry here.
And Fishkill, certainly Poughkeepsie, right?
Yep, absolutely. And I think that it's a good thing to have different types of businesses here
yeah.
and there. But there is a rising star in terms of economic development here in the Hudson Valley, and that's the film industry. That's really kind of the new industry that's taking hold here in the Mid-Hudson Valley.
That's very cool. We were there's a film that was just shot here in Kingston not too long ago. I mean, within the last couple of weeks.
Right, on Wall Street.
On Wall Street and Crown Street, Green Street, all these, this area where the studio is, which John Masurgeon, by the springtime you have to come up and take a ride. We'll give you until the warm weather gets here, but and then maybe we'll go out and have some breakfast at Dysing's, But I mean, that's a big industry, and they're staying locally. They're using the hotels, they're using the restaurants, using the grocery stores, whatever, because they hang out for a while.
And there's talk of a film studio that's going to be developed in the Kingston area.
Yeah.
The one in East Fishkill also. I think there's one in Newburgh,
right.
Or New Windsor, I should say. The Anthony's Pier 9 is going to be converted into a film production studio.
You're kidding! I didn't know that. I didn't know that one, man.
So
wow, that went belly up because of the pandemic. I guess
they sold the business.
They sold
the building to the developer. The Benora family still owned the building.
Okay.
And they were operating out of there as Anthony's Pier 9, but they saw this opportunity.
Wow.
And they took it.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. The other good news we have up here in Kingston is the Kingstonian got approved by the Common Council. That's another, positive project up in our, uptown area.
Yeah.
North Front Street, not too far from where. Well, no, you're Van Buren Street, right? Yeah,
no,
where
I
you
go
go?
Cedar.
Oh no, Cedar. But you grew up on Van Buren Street.
Yeah, I grew up on Van Buren.
Yeah. But that was contentious. Some folks thought it was a negative to the area, and Don's been around for a long time. How many times did somebody try to get a project going up there in Uptown Kingston and got shot down?
Oh yeah, get shot down all the time.
Yeah.
For some reason, people don't want to move forward. You got to progress. I mean,
got to.
Yeah.
You got to.
I feel that you got to progress, but put the safeguards in there to protect what you have.
Yeah. And there's a ton of environmental checkpoints all along the way. I mean, it's if I was a developer, man, unless I was like Bill Gates or something, I'd say, man, I'm spending $2, $3, $4 million, and I'm even close. I'm not even second base yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a pretty strict vetting process in any
and that's
any
appropriate.
sort of development up here. Yeah,
I think that's good, but at some point, beyond a reasonable amount of time, just give it an up or down. And soon the guy died. Yeah. I mean,
wow.
So he never saw it come to fruition, sadly. But look,
wow.
I get it. Folks move to this area because it's bucolic. It's beautiful up here. There's not a million people all over the place, and they want to keep it that way. Well, the folks that live here are the ones that say, you know what, we do need some progress. Appropriate, sensible, smart economic growth.
Exactly.
We're not saying, knock down a whole bunch of buildings like they did in the mid-'60s and urban renewal. But we're saying, hey, people need livelihoods. People need, interaction.
Yeah.
Social interaction.
That's how it happens when things develop and
Yeah.
communities
Right.
start to
Yeah.
grow. You get different tradesmen and, different people coming into the area, and that's how people, form.
Yeah. So, and I know Central Hudson is part of this whole process, and I know you can't necessarily take opinions or sides about any of this stuff, but, I'm sure you're all smart folks there and know that, if the tide rises, all boats rise too.
Right. No, absolutely. And, we do have economic development programs that help employers relocate to the Hudson Valley. If they bring a certain number of jobs, we do provide some funding to help with their their development expenses.
No kidding.
And also to help businesses that might be struggling and thinking about relocating. Helping them to actually stay. Retain the jobs
Wow.
that we have. So,
well, that's interesting.
I
never knew
we
that.
We work with the economic development organizations in the Hudson Valley, and we do provide this funding, and it's worked. I mean, for example, the crepe company, Crepini, in iPark in '84, they were a recipient of some economic development funds from Central Hudson.
I had no idea there was a crepe company anywhere near us.
Another great developer in the area, of course, is Rupco, and I think you have.
Well, we have Kevin O'Connor's coming on. Yeah, Kevin's coming on at 8:30. Yeah, if you could listen a little bit.
He's been highly successful in Kingston and some really outstanding projects that have come through. And, And we work with him too.
Needed, very needed. That's good. That's good to know. I mean. So many sides to Central Hudson, man. I didn't realize you had an economic development arm in terms of helping out businesses.
Oh yeah, it's been in existence for a long, long time. Actually, much of it was funded by the sale of the Roaston and Danskamer power plants.
Oh, okay.
A portion of that money went towards a community benefit fund that was used to provide these grants for economic development in the area.
Yeah,
so
interesting.
It's a great way to promote the area economically, but also provide some good paying jobs and meaningful careers for our residents. So it's really important.
Yeah. John, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about cost of energy these days. Just curious what some of your thoughts are. What made me think about it, I was putting up Christmas lights in my office. That building is built in the year one, and I was on the floor, laying some an extension cord, to get a couple trees hooked up, and I'm saying I felt such a draft coming underneath that door. I'm saying, oh my gosh, but I'm thinking I rent, but still, I mean that's money out the window, I guess, or under the door, or wherever it goes. Heat, hot
literally,
air.
Right. Energy costs spiked a little last month. Oh, more than a little, I should say. Yeah. And they've since come down a little bit, but we're looking at maybe a 30% increase in natural gas costs and about a 10 to 15% increase in electricity costs. It's because of the worldwide demand for energy. It's just raising the market price for all fuels. I mean, it's even higher for propane and heating oil, and we see it at the gasoline pump too.
And that's despite the pandemic, still hanging around and coming back. There's still a surge in demand.
Yeah, absolutely.
People are home,
we'll have to see how the winter plays out, both in terms of economic recovery, how the pandemic might be affecting, our society, our schools, our businesses, and also the weather has a lot to do with it too. I mean,
right.
Last winter there was lower demand for energy, and it was a mild winter, unusually mild winter.
Right.
This year, even if it's a normal winter, we're going to see higher prices as compared to last year.
Yeah.
So I just want to remind everyone that Central Hudson has some great bill assistance programs. For income qualified customers, there's the Home Energy Assistance Program, or HEAP, which is federally funded, and that provides a grant towards your utility bills. But more important, customers who enroll in HEAP receive a bill discount for the next 12 months.
That's good stuff.
Depending on their income levels and the family size.
John, what's the best way for folks to access that information, or is it a call? Is it a website?
You can go to centralhudson.com and click on billing assistance, and there's information and contact information as to how you can access those programs. Many times it's through either the Office for the Aging or through DSS, Department of Social Services, but we have a good information on our website under billing assistance at centralhudson.com that explains how people can take advantage of these programs.
Yeah, because folks that are on a fixed income, or they're living on Social Security or trying to live on Social Security, and they get these, inflationary spirals going on, man. How do they cope? How do they cope?
Right.
They
it's the income levels are, I think, pretty decent. For example, a family of 4 making up to $60,000 a year can qualify for these programs.
Yep,
and there's no shame in
exactly. It's out
this
there.
Funding. We're all paying for it, so you might as well take advantage of it.
Some of these folks may go to their pastor and say, "Pastor, help me."
Right. Oh, you're right. Oh, we do coordinate all of our programs with community service organizations. We'll meet with them regularly and provide them with information on billing assistance and other programs offered by utility companies, and they in turn can help their constituents and the folks that they work with in the community. Really, really, really important.
Yeah. You mentioned it feels a little bit already colder this year for sure than last year, right? 28 degrees this morning. Although I thought I saw 64 on Saturday.
Yeah, I know.
Get out the golf clubs.
It's be downright balmy on Saturday. Wet and warm. But
next week warming up too a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Maybe in the mid 40s.
Everybody's kind of sort of hoping for a white Christmas, but that hasn't really happened all that much. Mostly green Christmases now. Yeah. So that's
well. Listen. Speaking of the holidays, I just want you were talking about stringing lights.
Yeah.
We've got our holiday spirit photo contest coming up. Our customers, if you're a customer of Central Hudson, you can submit a photo of your holiday decorations and have a chance to win $500.
Wow. How's that happen?
On our Instagram site.
How do you do that?
You take a photo of your holiday decorations. It could be for any religious holiday.
Okay.
It could be for New Year's Eve, and send it to communications@senhud.com.
Okay.
And we will, by noon on December 17th, we'll post it on Central Hudson's Instagram page on December 20th. And folks can pick their favorite pictures by liking them, and that'll be how our customers can vote. And the photo with the most likes on December 30th at noon will be declared the winner and receive $500.
So here's the we're talking about the cell phones and what a problem they are, but I just went on the Instagram as you were speaking on your Central Hudson, and I hit follow. So
there you go.
So there's the good part. So yeah, it's decorating. Send a photo of your holiday spirit to communicate. Yep, follow us. Great. All right. Well, that's good news. I mean, that's. You
are on top of it. I got to tell you.
Hey, even a blind chicken can find a corn occasionally, So we have a neighbor. I won't say obviously where I live, but who has like decorations almost like a Christmas Vacation, Chevy Chase's house, man. That thing, you can see that from the moon. You guys are happy because that Central Hudson thing spins. Not all, but no, he's like they have every almost square inch of their front yard covered with a sign, some kind of decoration, wooden sign, a wooden, caricature, something. But that thing, man, I'm telling you, I'm almost tempted to take a picture of that and send it in my house. But no, I've got to be the homeowner, I guess. But
it's got to be your own place.
Yeah.
maybe your neighbor will win the money.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, that wouldn't be.
Isn't Central Hudson building a training center up here in Kingston?
Yes. We're building a training center and a power control center. Actually, we call it our primary control center in Lake Katrine area. It's really going to be something that we've needed for a long, long time. It's going to allow us to consolidate our training, our employee training in a central location. And I have to say that with all the technology upgrades that are taking place with utility infrastructure, and also with all we've hired quite a few new employees for two reasons. One, we're seeing a surge in retirements, and that's kind of a natural turnover. And the other reason is there's more work to do. So we've got to make sure that everyone is up to speed on the latest training and with able to implement the best technological advances that we're seeing in the utility infrastructure. But the site is also going to serve as a primary control center, and what that center does is oversee the entire electric grid and natural gas system for our Mid-Hudson Valley service territory.
That's good.
Right now we have that center in Poughkeepsie, but we're outgrowing that space. It's becoming more sophisticated, and the center in Poughkeepsie oversees the transmission lines, which are the bulk power lines that run through our area. This new facility is also going to oversee the distribution lines, which are all the lines that are running on the streets and through our communities. Again, that's part of the technological advances that are making their way through the utility industry, and we're able to have better eyes on the local distribution system, which is exceedingly important for two reasons. One, it's improves service reliability. We have new devices on our poles that will help reroute power during storms and shorten outage times. But also, we're seeing more and more renewable resources being interconnected to the system.
Right.
And these renewable resources, they have a mind of their own. They operate when they operate, when the sun is shining, or when it goes dark, or cloudy days. We get less output, for example, for solar. So we need a more sophisticated approach in managing the grid in order to accommodate this growing use of renewable energy.
That's way beyond my pay grade, man. I mean, I can't even imagine.
Mine too.
I can't even imagine.
So, John, if somebody wants to get involved, how would they go about that? As far as getting trained and employment, right.
Oh, go! You can look on centralhudson.com under
jobs, careers,
job careers, or we also post to all the major job sites. Hudson Valley Wanted, Indeed, etc. Monster. So there are plenty of job opportunities here at Central Hudson. But we're also going to open the training center to first responders to help train our police and fire departments on what to do when a emergency involves electrical or natural gas facilities, to help them safely navigate those situations. And we'll be holding tours. We'll allow the community to come through. There'll be community spaces in that facility that we're going to open up to local groups and organizations and towns and schools. And we do plan on holding tours for school groups too. So that the students there can learn a little bit about the energy industry, what's taking place. It could be a potential career opportunity for them, help them guide them in their studies. So it's really going to be, I think, one of our premier sites and locations.
Oh, that's great.
We are working with the local community in and around that area. Obviously, whenever there's a construction project like that, it can be a bit disturbing to have all the equipment and goings-ons with building a new site. So we're in pretty consistent touch with the neighbors around that site to make sure that we can keep them happy too.
Are you finding the job market as tight as the rest of us in terms of? I mean, Central Hudson's a great employer, so if you're posting jobs, I'm sure you would get a good response. But I think there's just partly an increased demand for jobs, and the supply of folks that want to work is not as abundant as it used to be. You're right about that. We do get a good response, not quite what it used to be. Right.
I mean, we would post a job in the past and maybe see 100 applicants, and now it's about a third of that. But it's still pretty robust for us.
Yeah.
We are fortunate in that way.
I see one here that probably someone's going to be working with you as a community outreach and public relations intern. That's right up in your
right.
That's anybody want to work with the great John Masurgeon, please apply to this job immediately. Yeah. That's going to be it's going to be a cool job, I'm sure. So maybe you get a good Marist College graduate or Dutchess Community College graduate, Ulster Community College graduate, Orange Community College graduate.
Yeah.
So, good.
Yeah, there is opportunity here, and I know it's it doesn't always seem that way from time to time, but there are a lot of good companies that are locating here, and they offer good careers, and it's just also ripe for entrepreneurs too.
Yeah.
It's
well, listen, we're coming down to the top of the hour.
We're
coming up to the top of the hour, but you have a great holiday. We'll see you in 22, brother.
Yes,
right?
we will.
I mean, that's
happy holidays to you, and nice to meet you, Reverend. And I'm looking at you guys right now on the YouTube channel. Your smiling faces are really brightening my day, so thank you.
Good.
Nice
Well,
to meet you too.
Yep, all the best, John. But be well.
All right,
have a great
take
holiday.
care.
We'll see you next month. Thanks.
Yep.
All right, Lawrence, let's take it away, and then we're waiting for Kingston happenings to call in.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed. We are a global force for good. Support causes that matter. Change lives. Change communities. Change the world. We can do more together than we can alone. Join in. Experience the joy of serving. Be part of the movement. Give back. Let's unite the world for good. We are Lions. You can be too. Visit weserve.org.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
This is the story of Daniel, who was born 2 months early. His lungs weren't ready. His heart wasn't ready. His parents could only hope that one day he would leave the hospital healthy, and they would all live happily ever after. Daniel's is just one of the more than 500,000 stories of babies born prematurely last year. You can help the March of Dimes stop premature birth and bring more babies home healthy. Learn how at marchofdimes.com. Working together for stronger, healthier babies.
Hi, my name is Jackie Levezzo. I'm from Lake Katrine, and I support Kingston Community Radio because it is an invaluable resource to the community and its residents.
A powerful community bank is one that has leaders that are involved in their community. At Rondout Savings Bank, they invest in the success of our community by working side by side with local people and local businesses. When you choose to bank Rondout, you are part of a bank that is dedicated to the future of your success and the success of your community. Rondout Savings welcomes you to open an account today and discover what it means to be part of a powerful community bank, one that knows you by name. Rondout Savings Bank, always working for you and our community, with branches in Kingston, West Hurley, and Hyde Park, also online at rondoutbank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
With my voices. Yeah, man.
All right, we're back on. This is Thunder Thursday, and I'm Tony Marmo.
And I am Donald May.
You are. Okay, you read all those. And we have our guests on with us, Veronica Fassbender and Kevin Godby. Welcome. We're going to do birthdays, folks, if you don't mind just hanging out for a couple of minutes. Don't go far.
Right.
Contemplate your navel or something interesting. All right, so you can.
Tony.
You got that. Contemplate away.
Okay, happy birthday to Susan Curcio, and then happy birthday to Amber Lanzer.
Right, and then I get the one with all the consonants in it. Happy birthday on Thursday, December 9th. Well, I'm going to just probably butcher this pretty good. I'm going to say Mikulzuski. I don't know. So from his wife, Laura, children Darla, and Eric, I got that. We probably should have had a phonetic spelling of that one. But I don't know. That's a great Scrabble board right there, because you got a bunch of 5-letter, 5-point letters in there, C and Z. But congratulations, David. Hope you have a great birthday. And the winner of our delicious cow pie from Boyce Dairy Milk House, your favorite place, 62 O'Neill Street in Kingston, is, that would be Amber Lanzer.
Oh,
all right. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your December 9th. And I want to give a shout out to my son, Vinny, whose birthday is going to be Saturday.
Oh, nice.
December 11th. And one of our employees, Christine Ungaro at Norman Staffing, her birthday is tomorrow, so December 10th. So a lot of happy days for folks, and then the holidays come. So Kingston Happenings is happening. Kingston is happening.
Yes, it is.
What's happening, our friends Kevin and Veronica? What's happening?
Oh, lots of stuff going on.
Lots of stuff.
Every
Good.
other week. And there's been lots of stuff going on beginning of the holiday season that have been great. We were just, we saw you over at the Snowflake Festival last weekend.
Yes.
And they had a great turnout for that. And that's always a great event.
Right. By the way, do you both know Reverend Don Mapes? If you don't, say hi.
Hi.
Hi, good morning to you.
Hi, nice to meet you over the air.
Nice to meet you.
Don is pinch hitting for Valerie Dwyer for next couple of shows on this second Thursday of the month, and he's a local dignitary of, knows folks all over the place, and has his finger on the pulse of Kingston. So he might be knowing more about Kingston happenings than you guys. That's not true.
If he knows something that we don't know, he can just go to the website and post an event that's going on.
There you go.
I'm more than glad to
Kingston Happenings.
Oh, okay.
Kingston Happenings website. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and people should realize that everything, anything that's going on that's an event, they can go to the website and post it, and it's on our calendars. It shows up in our newsletters. We put it in a couple of articles that we do that are summaries of events every week. And a lot of times those get picked up by some of the news services, and it gets a lot of eyes.
yeah. So you mentioned the Snowflake Festival. That was pretty well attended, wouldn't you think? Or don't you think? I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of folks there.
People up there.
Yep. Did that surprise you? Either of you?
Not really. I mean, I think the outdoor events are coming back. I think most people feel comfortable, if it's something that's outdoor. And we're still seeing, as we were going through a lot of events here, anything that was indoors, people are still saying, you got to wear a mask. Even
Right.
in some cases, even if you're vaccinated. So it's great
Right.
that, people are still being cautious.
Yeah, so that's good. So tell us about, I'm on the website now. A lot of stuff going on. I mean, 'tis the season, certainly, right? What's
Oh, yeah.
what's going on this week? I see there's the 6th through the 12th. So what's happening? What can you tell folks?
Yeah, if you want to go get out tonight and see some live music, a guy by the name of Joey Henry is at Keegan Ales, and he's not from this area, but he's traveling through town, which a lot of places like Keegan Ales will book acts that people are going from Vermont to down the East Coast or something like that.
Mhm.
And, they're really great musicians. This guy's banjo player, and that sounds like a fun time at Keegan's.
Right.
Is that an indoor event or outdoor event?
I think it's under their tent. They have a huge tent out.
Oh yeah. Right
I
up.
think they have some heaters and stuff, so it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Now, did you go to the Old Savannah ice skating deal there, the rink that David put in and all those folks?
Oh yeah.
How was that one?
We have most of it on videotape.
Oh, you do? Okay, good. So you can go to the website and take a peek at that. I was unable to make it. I think I was at the Kingstonian hearing at the City Hall. I'm not sure. I would have rather been at. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure about ice skating, but at least observing ice skating. But that's a nice little addition, right?
Yeah, they had a really good crowd there, and the show that Dave put together was fantastic. I mean, he had people singing, he had skaters there. There were local skaters from a school
nice
that's here in the area to kind of show off the rink. And then the laser light show that they did on the side of Old Savannah is really something else.
Oh, cool.
And, we have little snippets of that.
Oh, great.
On
Okay.
social media. But we'll do a longer video for Dave at some point in time and get that up there also for anybody that wasn't there.
That's great.
And Friday night down at Old Savannah, they're having their annual holiday cocktail party.
Okay.
That's really a lot of fun for one ticket price. You get open bar, food station, merriment, and all the fun stuff, and come out dressed up. And
wow.
yeah, and Dave even said, for everyone curious out there, that the ice rink will be open during this holiday cocktail party. So
All right. A triple Lux. You want to see my triple Lux? I'll be happy to show you my triple Lux.
I'd love to see
especially after the open bar and open.
I think so. Yeah. I bring Dr. Yoya, my orthopedic surgeon, with me. He's going to be.
Yeah, good suggestion.
Yes. So I'm curious. I got to ask about the Ukulele Meetup. Is there a big demand for a Ukulele Meetup in Kingston?
Evidently, because they've been doing it for quite a while.
Yeah,
You're kidding.
For years.
They do it, like every once in a while. They start a session, and it's a continuing class, and evidently ukuleles are really hot.
I can't. It's hard to believe, but I'll believe it. It's it's at the Kingston Library. It's December 7th, and if you got a ukulele, bring it with you. They're going to go meet up some other.
To show you, Tony, that there's all sorts of little circles that we
Yes.
don't always crash. So.
Yes.
Yeah, but speaking of the Kingston Library, they have a lot of great programming for the community.
Right.
Even this weekend, they have a college financial aid workshop coming up, and then in next week, spoiler alert, they have kind of a bring your own book club, pseudo book club program that they started, and among countless other programs that they have popping up throughout the year. So it's a great community resource that I think many people don't really think about anymore as their local library. And even the Town of Ulster Library, too, has some awesome free programming for everyone. They have stuff for kids. They have and all the way up to seniors. They have some great stuff. So keep an eye out for those things.
Yeah,
that's great.
We're very lucky. Yeah, we're very lucky to have community organizations like those, and also the Center for Creative Education. They do some really, really great things there. We went to their Thanksgiving event that they had, where they gave out Christmas Thanksgiving dinners to a lot of people, and they had entertainment all day long. They closed off that part of Cedar Street, and it was a street festival, really, on Thanksgiving Day that was really awesome. I mean, the people and the spirit of everybody that was there was just really, really something to see.
Oh, that's good. The spirit. What were you saying, Don?
No, I was going to. Which day is that college financial thing going to be? You said this weekend, correct?
Yeah. Hang on one second.
It's December 11th. I'm looking right now. Okay.
I think it was Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday, December 11th from 1 to 3, College Financial Aid Workshop. Yeah, but...
All right.
There you go. I can get a job at Kingston Happenings as well. Upstate Vintage...
Yeah, that's a great event to take advantage of.
Yes. How about the Vintage Antique Show at the Senate Garage? That's going to be this Saturday. Don and I could put ourselves in that thing, man.
Yeah,
we're vintage antiques. Yeah, that's at the Senate Garage, right? That should be very cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be a nice event. That's a beautiful space for events, and vintage stuff is really in, and it's the holiday season, so you might be able to find some good gifts.
Yeah, no, that's, I see on here a lot the Colony in Woodstock. It's one of the live venues, correct, for performances. Can you talk about that a little bit, Colony, and what impact they have on this community?
Yeah, I mean, they're consistently having music there. They changed owners a few years ago, and they've gone all out. All through the pandemic, they were doing music performances outside. They have a great beer garden, they call it out there.
But it's huge.
Yeah, but it is really huge. I mean, you can put hundreds of people out there that are well distanced and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're doing some stuff indoors now. And the indoor space is really unique, too, in that there's a whole balcony area above the performance, above the stage. Have you been there, Tony?
I haven't, no. No, it's on the list now.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And they get some really great musicians up there. Some local, some, traveling through again.
Yeah.
This weekend they have Bruce Katz.
Bruce Katz do I know Bruce? No. What does Bruce do? What's his deal?
Bruce Katz, he played piano. I just looked this up the other day.
Okay.
And I completely forgot. But he played for
one of the bands.
Like his own career is pretty extensive in the jazz community.
Okay.
But yeah,
he's a keyboard dude. Okay.
Greg Allman.
Oh, for Greg Allman, right? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of other ones. Delbert,
now
McClinton, Ronnie Earl, Little Milton, Butch Trucks. Yeah. Butch Trucks.
Yeah. So the Colony is great, and what keeps us, supporting them on our website is they just have consistent music. Like Kevin said, every weekend, if you're looking for some music, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, typically, the Colony has been providing it. And then even during the summer, with Thursdays through Sundays, they had programming. But yeah, as Kevin mentioned, they're exclusively now inside due to the weather. But they have a lot of COVID-19 protocols in place. So we encourage everyone to sign up for their newsletter and check it out because they have all the details on how to attend concerts there.
That's great. Well,
how to keep everybody safe.
Your site is so versatile in terms of, we talk about financial aid in the library, and then we talk about music and other cultural events that are going on. It's really a great go-to place for folks of many interests. Yeah. Right? I mean, yeah. So
we have everything. Basically, we don't curate events. If anybody has any kind of event going on, it goes on the site. We don't try to pick and choose or anything else. And we're not just Kingston. Also, we're talking about Colony and Woodstock. I mean,
right, Rosendale
music venues up there that we have all the time. We have stuff from Rhinebeck, Rosendale, Newport sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And down Stone Ridge, down the 209 corridor and that sort of stuff. So we cover a lot of area now that we didn't really cover before. But more and more people are finding us to post events, and the traffic, continues to be really strong. So, obviously it's providing a value to the community, and that's what, we're all about.
Well, our new neighbors, moving up from the metropolitan area, they would love this site because this is the go-to place in terms of trying to find something to do in the area. We had gone out to dinner at Graziano Tecchia's downtown cafe, and that's a very intimate setting there. And the folks next to us, young couple, where are you from? I talk to anybody that'll maybe kind of talk back to me, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're from Brooklyn." I said, "Oh, that's new." No, but so and one thing led to another, and I got them to join our Italian organization. So
there you go.
get them hooked in immediately. They're coming to our event December 14th at Little Italy, Frank Guido's Little Italy. Young folks around 40 years old and probably don't know a whole lot of people. They're both telecommuters, right? Very common story, right? Kevin and Veronica.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we think anyone who joins your federation is a good resource for the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that event's open to the public, make sure you get on the website.
Yeah, it's the members only because it's a limited seating capacity, and in January 6th we're going to have our little Christmas dinner, and that one probably more open because Diamond Mills they can seat a bunch of people there. We're kind of limited, but
great.
Yeah, no, I thought, I was thinking about all these folks that have moved up from Brooklyn and Bronx and wherever, metropolitan New York area up this way. Would be a great idea for Don Tollerman at Senate Garage to have a Brooklyn meetup or a metropolitan meetup, metropolitan New York meetup, and mix in some of the locals so they can meet, a lot of the local folks that and become part of our community,
Yeah, you might be onto something.
Yeah, I might be onto something on that one. I'll talk to Don.
You might want to copyright that.
Well, it is recorded now, so we can go back and look at the video. What were you?
I was going to say, you got plenty of Italian food over there.
Oh, I have plenty of Italian food. That's always the common denominator, man. We're gonna get you to a dinner. We're gonna get you to a dinner. Absolutely.
Manicotti.
Yeah.
We have a new twist for you, Tony, though. The next dinner that you have for your organization should be totally vegan.
Yeah, well, we could do that. We can do that.
I bet you can.
One of our members, Giovanni Barbaro, he's the Green Palette. He's got the food truck, and those guys do meatless meatballs. My grandmother be rolling over in her grave on that one, but if there's not raw chopped meat in there.
You'd be surprised how many converts you might get, though.
No, I know that. No, I get it.
You don't
Definitely.
even know.
Yeah, especially maybe the younger folks. The older generation, I don't know. They may dig that too.
They might do it for health reasons, right?
Well, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I was looking at something that Don and I would be probably interested in. I just say this December 12th, this Sunday coming up, out of town, Kingston, Celebrating Aging. Presents master storytellers Verna Gillis and David Gonzalez at the Rosendale Theater. That's probably pretty cool. Sunday at 2 to 3:30. We have Karen Pillsworth, who is one of the great storytellers, right, in Kingston, and she gets to tell the story of La Befana at our little Christmas dinner on January 6th, which is always. La Befana is the witch, the good witch in Italy that drops presents off. She's kind of like Santa Claus, only La Befana. Yeah. So,
so you guys don't have Three Kings Day then? It's.
No, we just do Little Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, which is I forget what the number is. Days after Christmas, they call it Boxing Day, I think, in England or Canada somewhere, something like that. Yeah, no, that's all good. So what else? What else can we talk about that's in your orbit? What do you?
Well, a lot of things that are coming up too are little pop-up kinds of shops and that sort of stuff where you can do some Christmas shopping. Like at St. James, they're doing their annual Christmas cookie thing, and I believe they're selling some other.
Yeah, Saturday 9 to 3 p.m. at St. James Methodist Church. You can come and buy trays of homemade Christmas cookies, gifts, crafts, refreshments, and more, supporting a good cause as always. And they call it their Star in the Valley Christmas Market and Cookie Caper.
That's cool.
So that's from 9 to 3 p.m. What a good way to help support a great organization and get something heartfelt for Christmas,
and
or the holidays.
Very few calories in that tray of cookies.
Hey, give them to the young.
Yeah, 'tis the season, though.
That's what the gym is for.
That's right. Yeah.
And then St. John's at the same time on Saturdays is also doing a market that they do a lot of craft kinds of things. Soap, sap, beeswax stuff, artwork, cards, and also a lot of foods that they make there too, jams and jellies and all that sort of stuff. So these little local markets a lot of times are great because a lot of times you're buying things at not an outrageous price and also supporting great organizations.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 'tis the season for the churches. I'm sure struggling with putting folks in the seats and subsequently financially. So this is a good opportunity to get some homemade goodies and make sure you have the stretch pants on when you're eating them. But no, that's Don was just saying. That's what the Y is for. You get a membership at the Y and work off those calories. Get out in the rail trails and
that's so true.
Our beautiful rail trails. What's are you have any sense about how that stuff is doing? All the rail trails. It was hot after the pandemic being on the rail trail. I remember that because Go ahead.
We go down to the Brickyard Rail Trail quite a bit.
All right.
It's really pretty quiet, and it's along the river. It's a great setting, and it's paved. So we've been down there walking. When we get a few minutes here and there to go do something like that, we go down there. We also walk the Green Line right here in Kingston quite a bit. It's a nice walk from the back of Rondout Savings Bank on Broadway. You can go all the way down to the Rondout and actually go all the way out to Kingston Point, or as far as you want. You go from there and go out to the Brickyard Trail too.
Now, where does the Brickyard Trail, does it connect to the Green Line or not? Or you got to get off it?
Not directly. It really, you can go from the Brickyard Trail over to Kingston Point Beach, go over to Rotary Park, Kingston Point Rotary Park, and get on the little trail that goes along the trolley tracks.
Oh, right.
Take that over to the Rondout, and then you have to go on the street a little bit, but then get on the Green Line that's right there in the parking lot of the Rondout, and then go up to Broadway from there.
Now, how far up does the Brickyard Trail? Does that go up, like hugging the river like that, or
it hugs the river out to East Kingston.
Okay, out to East Kingston. Nice. Okay, I'm not familiar with that one, so we got to give that a.
Yeah, it's brand new. Yeah. It's just perfect. It's brand newly paved, it's a great ride. It's a great walk. I mean, one point the trail itself starts at Kingston Point Beach, and it's 1.9 miles out to East Kingston, and then of course back. So it's a 3.5 mile walk or so, and
3.5 mile. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that'll do it. What's your sense overall about the amount of tourism that you get? I don't know if you have a sense about that. Folks coming in still to visit, or are these more locals getting involved with doing stuff?
Well, Veronica has a studio on the end of Greenkill Ave. Actually, it's Railroad Avenue, and it's above Village Coffee. And we still see a ton of Land Rovers and Audis from out of town there. So
Jersey plates.
We're still getting a lot of tourists. Yeah, I think we're still getting a lot of tourists visiting.
Yeah.
But as Kevin said earlier, we get a pretty healthy mix of events on the website that are really, kind of core community based, like the Kingston Library, the Cornell Creative Arts Center, and whatnot. And then we get kind of the heavy hitting events like the Snowflake Festival and whatnot that we really do see draw people in from outside the area.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, no, Jersey
We got a lot to offer, Tony.
We do. I mean, we have Lisa Berger on, Director of Tourism for Ulster County, and, I think she's really high on what's going on in terms of the amount of activity, and, I think it's all good.
It's a good high, Tony.
It is a good high. And we're not talking about cannabis high either on that one.
Not yet, at least in New York State.
That might be a whole nother story. Maybe another show. I'm not sure on this show, but
hey, you never know.
You never know.
Well, Veronica and Ulster are at a lot of these events, and we do see a healthy mix of new faces. Pretty much wherever we go.
Yeah.
So it's not just the same people showing up at the same events, which it happens a lot of times. All these things sometimes have their own little circle, but we do see new people around, and like you said, you start talking to people and you find out that they're relatively new here.
The article that was in the Times, I don't know, was that a week ago or so on real estate and how hot Kingston was. That probably going to bring some more folks this way, I would guess.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, the travel blogging thing is gotten so saturated, and there's so many of those things going out there. I'm not sure a lot of those things have an awful lot of impact. It's still, I think, a lot of just basically people showing up for one thing and then sort of like seeing things on their own.
Yeah.
But who knows? The next article you see may be that Port Union is the new Brooklyn.
Yeah. Well, as long as taxes go down, I'm happy.
Get ready, Port Union.
That's my stomping grounds, man.
You may start, seeing everybody move into, someplace near you. But like I said, the travel blogging thing, we see so much of it. Maybe we're just tuned into it a little bit more than other people, but it just seems to like after a while, you take it all with a grain of salt. Especially when it's kind of funny when you live someplace and you hear somebody write about the area, and you feel like they've never even been here.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. They're writing it out of watching stuff on the tube or something, YouTube or whatever, watching things. they can go on your site and probably write a beautiful article like they've been here, you know. But I think the real estate market seems like it's calming down a little bit. I mean, just generally this time of the year anyway, right? I mean, so, and
we did a photo shoot with one of the realtors, and we talked to her quite a bit about that. And she did say there's some return to normalcy in that not every property that's going up has a bidding war on the property.
Right.
That some things are out there, and people are paying, you know, what the asking price is instead of bidding it up, which is unusual compared to what it's been.
Yeah.
But she said definitely what they were seeing at this point was things are calming down. And that was even a little bit earlier, so I'm not sure that was a time of year thing yet.
All right. Well, listen, Veronica Fassbender, Kevin Gabi, thank you for what you do, kind of have your finger on the pulse of, you know, what's going on in Kingston culturally, socially, just a good vibe economically a little bit, I'm guessing. So thank you for, you know, being out there, and keep up the good work, and have great holidays. You guys traveling for the holiday? You're going to stay in Kingston?
Yeah, we're staying in. We're
staying in
local.
Kingston. We don't travel.
Yeah.
We ain't
Local
going anywhere.
Well, good luck, and thanks so much for having us. And Don, it was nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you over the air. And
Yep. Happy New Year. We'll
day.
see you in 22.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
take care. Happy holidays, everyone.
Thanks to you both.
Take
All the
care.
best.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye now. All right, Lawrence, let's go to break. We'll come back with Kevin O'Connor from Rupco.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Grammer. Wounded Warrior Project supports injured veterans by connecting them with fellow warriors, by serving them through mental health and wellness programs, and by empowering them to live on their own terms. No one should face a battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
This is Greg Chorvis, and once again, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund is asking you to help the needy this holiday season. For the last 50 years, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund has helped less fortunate families have a happier holiday. Look for our collection boxes at the local branches of the Ulster Federal Credit Union, Rondout Savings Bank, the Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, Ulster Savings Bank, and at the Kiwanis Ice Arena in Sorgenes. Thank you very much, and have a happy and Merry Christmas.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Oh, man, he was amazing. All right, folks, we're here for the last half hour, the last leg. We're bringing it into the barn, Don.
There we go.
We're going to bring it into the barn on this one. This is Thunder Thursday, Tony Marmo.
Donald Mapes.
And we're joined by our good friend, hard-working guy, man, helper of the community, Kevin O'Connor from Rupco. Welcome, brother.
Good morning, gentlemen.
How's it going?
And,
My response is, all things considered, pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
Pretty good. That's it's good to hear. It's good to hear. So tell folks a little bit about, Rupco, and we were talking about you. I don't really know. I know you're not a local, but where did you grow up?
Sure. I grew up in Hyde Park. And,
no kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my parents were originally from Peekskill, and after the war, my father worked for the railroad, New York Railroad, for about 15 years. But then IBM, Poughkeepsie, attracted my uncle and
about them. Yeah.
My dad. So in '57, they moved to Poughkeepsie, and I was born. And I grew up in Hyde Park. And
FDR?
Yes, sir. Traveled
a
around.
guy by the name of Mitch Green? Mitchell Green, soccer guy?
Soccer guy. Oh, yeah. Mitch was a year older than me. Great soccer player.
Yeah, great soccer player. Still playing, man.
Yeah, Roosevelt had great soccer teams. Basketball.
Yeah.
Football.
Baseball. You had some good baseball teams, too, for a while.
Crew. Yeah, it was
Crew, yeah.
Yeah, so Marist College grad. And I've had... I spent 14 years with Hudson River Housing, a nonprofit housing group in Poughkeepsie, and I'm 19 years now here at Rupco. So I've really been fortunate to spend this kind of time with two really great organizations.
Yeah, you're fortunate, man. I mean, we talked earlier about, the changes in Kingston over the years, and this guy's seen some changes, right?
Sure,
you
yeah.
arrived back in 2002, man.
Yeah. And
What was the scene like then?
Well, we started. We had a near tripling of home prices back then. I remember we started to give Housing a Voice campaign and really reached out to the business community because it was sort of the first time, then, not the first time ever, that businesses were talking about, housing and not being able to hire.
Right.
And that conversation is here again, very loudly today.
Goes around, comes around, man.
Yeah. So, the housing history, we had the foreclosure debacle.
Yeah. 08, 09-ish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wall Street used to have junk bonds.
Right.
And we woke up one day, Fannie Mae had
subprimes.
Fannie Mae had 60% of the, secondary market. They woke up one day and it's down around 40%. They're like, what's going on? And, these Wall Street had discovered, and mortgages became very transactional. People were making them all day long. Exotica at the time.
Yeah, Exotica. I remember.
We had the lowest interest rates then in my lifetime. 7-8% fixed, 30-year, nice stuff. I can remember.
You got a 7-8 back then, man. You're happy.
Absolutely. Yeah. But they started doing Exotica and 2-year teaser rates and people and all kinds of things. And there's been a lot of disruption of our housing market. So you had the foreclosure debacle. That got followed up by, again, investment REITs,
tinkering.
Some real estate trust companies going around and literally buying single-family homes all across the country because the great return on investment as rental property.
Yeah.
So now we lost a whole swath of our single-family to investment and rental. Then we get Airbnb. Takes a lot of long-term rentals and moves them into short-term rental.
Yeah. Jeez.
We've had the uptick since from the pandemic, people coming up, a little bit of 9/11 after following 9/11, but in the last 2 years, you guys know the story. People are coming up buying stuff sight unseen.
Yeah.
And the other factor is that we form households later and smaller. Mm-hmm. So you got 4 people in a home, but all of a sudden you got 2 and 2. Now you need 2 units. You got to double the units. And our household composition size has shrunk.
Yeah, right.
It's going down. And the smaller it becomes, the more units of housing we need.
Right.
And then, of course, this is the home of NIMBY.
Yeah,
not in my backyard. we need housing.
Build nothing, anywhere, nowhere, no time, no way.
We need it, just don't build it next to me. And close to me.
Yeah.
So it all adds up to housing crisis, in capital letters.
Yeah, and I don't think it gets enough attention. I'm sorry, the media doesn't really cover it enough. And it just, I don't know, it percolates. It's always a problem. It doesn't matter. You try to attract folks to work in communities and ain't got no housing.
Yes.
I mean, what are you supposed to do? Now, in the good old days, you commuted, right? Folks commuted. Normally, Ulster County was an out-migration county, right? We would go to Albany, we'd go to Poughkeepsie, we'd go south, but out migration, right?
Yeah.
Be nice to get some in-migration someday. some folks coming from into this community, but there ain't no housing stock, right?
Yeah, well,
Not
I think
enough.
we've seen a lot of that. One of our latest forays is working with the village of Tannersville in the town of Hunter. And they put out a request for interest this summer. We went up and responded to it, and they've described their workforce housing situation, how dire it is. So you got two mountains up there that are really the economic engine
Right.
for Greene County in a lot of ways, and it's not a four-season economy. They go all
Right.
12 months a year. But the workforce is very difficult to attract, both to the
Right.
the mountain, the other tourism business, but the village, Main Street in Tannersville, restaurants, retail. The other thing that they have up there that I was a little surprised that we really lack around here is it's very difficult to find both zoning and water and or sewer that can infrastructure to support.
Kind of shovel-ready stuff?
Yeah, very very little overlap outside of a city, and so it's difficult to find places to build housing, which is very expensive.
Yeah.
But up there, they leveraged the New York City water supply back in the early part of the century, and
Yeah.
they have water and sewer. And their business community recently has come out and really spoke publicly to the need for workforce housing. So, look, housing is a very broad continuum.
Yeah, right.
Continuum. We're all on it. We
Right.
don't stay in one place.
Right.
And at this moment in time, almost every intervention point needs more housing.
Yeah.
We need more homeless housing. We need more supportive housing. We need more starter homes for first-time home buyers. We need more rental housing. We have almost no housing for someone, our age who wants to sell their home, stop mowing the lawn, and get into a maintenance-free condo situation. They hardly exist at all. So across the spectrum of housing,
How do we get
we
to
need
this
more.
point, Kevin? I guess, has it always been bad and it's just gotten severe? Or what happened? What happened to the Toll Brothers? Well, they build like $1 million things, so maybe that's part of the problem. What happened to the builders where'd they go?
Yeah, well, I think it's a combination. It's complex, and
Yeah.
the markets and stuff. Of course, this country built a lot.
That's true.
Over the last century.
That's
And,
true. That's true.
I was just had some folks in, and we took them to the Roosevelt Library, and you look at what was built in this country, and then through the war, and IBM came and built all the things,
Yeah.
So a lot of buildup, and I think, in my career, the prevalent sort of wisdom or mindset here is the Hudson Valley is a very attractive place. People are very much attracted here. We
But
have
more so recently, I would say. Say the last 10 years, 5 years. Metropolitan New York, and then you're going upstate, man. We didn't see you again. We're not going to see you again. Bye-bye. See you.
We slowed down for a while. I mean, we had the IBM closing, so
Right.
Nothing changed in Kingston for 20 years. And all of a sudden, finally,
That's true.
when I started, in Poughkeepsie, it wasn't long after that IBM, downsized and closed much of Poughkeepsie, and we mauled and we lost our main streets, and some things like that happened, but we haven't allowed very much building.
Right.
The natural tendency here is we love it. We got here. Don't change it.
Yeah.
No more. No more.
Bucolic. We don't want a mess.
So that's an issue that I think a lot of communities are grappling right now with looking at comprehensive plans and zoning. And, a lot of things originate on the West Coast, and things are happening on the West Coast now, and, they're doing away with single-family zoning. In Seattle, where it's, the average price of a home is $1.34 million, they just did away with single-family. So any single-family home now, lot, 2 to 4 units, as of right.
Wow.
Because, $1.4 million for a house?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's almost mind-boggling. But the question is, are we smart enough to do this? Do we have the tolerance to do it in terms of developing some land? I mean, we just talking earlier about the Tech City press conference yesterday. National Resources coming here.
Sure.
Big 200-acre site, attract another 1,000 or 2,000 jobs. assuming we can find those folks, get them off the Frito Lay couch, can we house them, right?
Not today. Absolutely not. But we have to be able to. We should be able to. We're talking about one of the great industries, construction, building.
Right.
You add the elements now that we have to add of energy efficiency.
Right.
And going green and sustainable,
Right.
and addressing
footprint.
climate.
Right.
We're very proud of our work at Energy Square.
Yeah.
Really the first net zero for a living, so people pay rent, and that covers, their utilities and their lighting and their heating, their cooling, air conditioning, cooking. And so it creates jobs, new technologies, I think creating community and great places for people to live, some jobs along with the natural environment. We can do both. We can protect our environment. We can reuse some of our historic resources, like the Lace Mill or now Landmark Place. We can build new, and we can do it creating jobs and using the best in terms of technology and be a leader. This is the state of New York.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I mean, we have great opportunity. Do we have the political will, and desire to make this happen? I think our elected officials are doing a very good job. Just mention Tech City, mention the Kingstonian. There's always acrimony, though. There's always group that fighting hard. It's happened in some of your projects, right?
Sure.
Folks fighting hard against.
Yes.
We talked about this at the beginning of the show. Where can we come together? What can we agree on?
Exactly.
Right. Start at that point. Don't start at either end of the squared, squared circle, as we like to call it, the boxing ring.
Yeah.
Let's not start on each corner.
Yeah.
Kevin, I know there's no silver bullet answer here, but what do you?
Well, I think you're touching on something that it's not going to be easy, but I think if we're going to be successful, we have to find a way to start to talk to each other. We just lost Senator Bob Dole, and I was probably on the other side from the senator in terms of
political ideology,
politics, but. So be it. We get to have our political, here in this country, but we got to be able to talk to each other. We got to be able to work together to get some progress.
Common goals.
And today we're not seemingly doing that. So I think, I hope, that sometimes I think at the local level, we can
do better.
Maybe accomplish a little bit more, and still talk to each other and make some progress. But we're pretty divided right now. I talk about the great need in housing, and I think one of the good things in housing is a lot more people are gaining their voice around housing, and people are standing up and saying enough is enough. And we're trying to rebalance some power, rebalance some things in the housing conundrum, and I think that's a good thing.
We're not alone in this, though, right? I mean, I would say surrounding counties probably the same. The Hudson Valley probably the same. Dutchess, Orange.
Across the country.
Across the country, yeah.
I just looked at some statistics yesterday that I'm going to share with my board about housing prices. And Kingston at one point last year had the highest percentage increase in home sale price by percentage in the country. But
in the country,
Boise, Idaho, I was just looking at a year ago. 20% increase in their home price. From medium of $260 to $325, and overnight almost. And across the country, California, we haven't built enough. Anywheres. We haven't kept up. Our zoning has restricted some of it, and the prevailing thinking out there. And of course, politics is unfortunately it's short term. What can I deliver for you now so I can get reelected? And so a little more long term thinking would be.
Why do states like North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, name some of those states down south that seem to have it figured out a little bit better in terms of I'll say shovel-ready development. We come on down here. We got a piece of land that you can subdivide, blah blah blah. And to me, it's just folks heading down that way, developers heading down that way, population shift eventually, right? Warm weather, housing, jobs.
Sure.
That's what we want. Warm weather.
Yeah. It used to be Texas. I got out of high school. I had some buddies. Where are you going? Texas. I'm going to Texas.
Yeah. What the heck's in Texas?
And no zoning and land. And so we've got here the oldest housing stock in the country.
Yeah.
We've got aging infrastructure.
Yeah.
Our water lines, our sewer lines.
Roads, bridges.
Yeah. So we need to invest.
Yeah.
And if we can invest in some of the infrastructure and realign some of our comprehensive planning and zoning to allow for, churn up the construction and the new technologies.
Yeah.
It can come together.
Winner, chicken parm dinner, man. Yeah. No, I mean, we make a little light of it, but I think it's, we've seen a lot of attempts and perhaps, again, we lost our way a little bit after IBM trying to figure it out. Folks leaving this marketplace, right? They went up to Burlington, they went up to Timbuktu, wherever they went, and we kind of went into neutral a little bit, right? I mean,
yeah, and you mentioned making light, and so that grounds me again, and we can't make light because just leasing up Landmark, we've got 33 of the 34 apartments filled now on Landmark West, we're calling it, and these are our seniors, age 55 and older, who are experiencing not having a home. I had we were little slow in getting to completion, and had a couple of people living in cars. These are our elders, are very, very
Not
vulnerable,
acceptable.
extremely low income, and we're just providing a safe place to live and put their head at night, and but we got to do more of it. And the situation is pretty dire.
Yeah,
our phone rings every day, and we don't have often we don't have any resource. Our units are all full. We just opened up the Section 8 waiting list. Some people like to malign Section 8. Look, it's a federal program that says you pay fully a third of your income towards the rent, and we'll help you out with the balance.
Yeah.
And we've got
Very
folks
reasonable.
on, a third are seniors,
Yeah.
a third are disabled. We have no healthy singles on the program. And,
at-risk populations that really need some assistance here. This is not, what are we talking about? These are the folks in need.
Yeah. So we opened up for
Right.
45 days. We have 1,900 applications.
Wow.
We had double that, but half the applications, for one reason or another, fell out. But we don't have a lot of resource, which is why we don't always have the waiting list open. When I first came to Rupco, we had a waiting list of X, and I said, well, how long is it going to take before we call people? They said 5 years. I said, people need housing today.
Might as well call Bernie Gray first.
Yeah. Imagine being hungry, and I got something for you, Tony, but it's going to be 6 months from now that I'm going to let you eat it.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's
Kevin, what's in the immediate pipeline? I know you're just talking about the Section 8 housing, but what else is that you can share with the listening audience in the immediate pipeline for Rupco, or some? What are you thinking?
Well, look, we're led by a great board of directors. We just celebrated our 40th anniversary, and
Congratulations.
we've got a tremendous staff, and we've got 2 projects in construction. We're looking at a lot in pre-development. We just helped out with the land bank. We made grants to the first 3 home buyers to help them and provided education. We just last night the city has, or the night before, agreed to provide some zombie properties. We want to get back into the home ownership and converting some of our zombie properties here.
What is that? You better explain that, Lucy.
The vacant single-family homes that we have here in Kingston and in cities across the country. We haven't been able to do home ownership for a while. We haven't had the subsidy and the support that's needed to go in and take a vacant unit and spend $300,000 plus,
right,
and then be able to sell it, for $170
right,
at an affordable rate. We need that subsidy, and we've had great subsidy in the rental markets that have helped agencies like us and private developers as well develop, Energy Squares and the Lace Mills and Woodstock Commons, but we haven't had the same kind, but it's coming. We've had a little bit of philanthropic dollars flowing, but there's government dollars. There's a tremendous bipartisan tax credit proposed right now for home ownership.
Great.
And we need that. And
That is not political, man. That is not political.
some of our housing stock, that's what it was, and it should be returned to home
Yeah.
ownership. So, but we also have a number of programs. We've been involved with emergency rental assistance. We have some money right now for landlords, small landlords,
Right.
9 units or less. If they're still having arrears and or some repairs and they want to stay in the affordable housing game, we've got money for them. We've got money in support if any homeowners, and it's not really happening yet. I think homeowners, existing homeowners, are doing okay, but it should people run into foreclosure issues, we've got some money for that.
How to access, what's the best way to access, your resources, website, phone? What?
Yeah, so it's rupco.org. So it's www.rupco.org, and it's area code 845-331-2140. 331-2140. Call us, check us out on the web.
Yeah.
And we have, some resources, and we liken them to. I often talk to staff about, we're charged with, providing some of the housing chips, if you will, and we need to do so in a very inclusive manner. Have you ever sat across the table from someone who you needed something from, and you were treated like less than? We can't do that, and we have to provide the housing chips in a manner that doesn't disparage anyone.
Right.
And everyone's included in what we're trying to provide. It's difficult. There isn't enough housing resource today. It's dire, but there are various programs, and we are somewhat adept at helping government deliver some programs and
navigate through some of that stuff that might be daunting to folks, right? Is there enough open land, or is there enough land to use, develop? I'm just, I think about, I know this used to be a big agricultural county, right? Apple farms, all of dairy farm, all over the place. And are they still productive? And might that be a source of, opportunity to, we're not selling apples as much anymore. How about we build some houses out there?
Yeah.
Or some housing stock. What do you think?
Well, it's, I think we have been a big agricultural and dairy, and I think some of that wants to continue. We're a bit of a food shed to the city, and I think there's some quality of life and some economics that still exist there. The difficulty, so, you can take a drive some days, so it's quite a bit of land. You just look around, right? But the factors are the infrastructure.
Yeah, right.
Water and sewer to start, particularly when you're trying to do a little bit more. And then the zoning and the local restrictions. So we have ag districts that have special rules about, you can't do this, you can't do that. We have zoning, at 5 and 10 acres. And and the cost right now of construction and housing is, it's up there. But it's money that is going to vendors, supply houses, construction firms, architects, attorneys. It's money that's churns in the community and creates jobs. So, but it's expensive. So you got to pull together. And right now, there's almost there's very little places you can find anywhere in the Hudson Valley where you have both multifamily zoning that will allow a little more density. That you need from an economic and has infrastructure. Almost outside of us, so you go outside and it doesn't exist. So you got to change zoning, and zoning is very difficult. I always, I've been in a lot of battles, and if you don't have zoning, it can be even more difficult. Yes.
So you're talking that entrenched mentality.
Absolutely.
That allow growth for anything to happen.
Yeah. We like it the way it is. And don't be messing with it.
Yeah. the other big factor, and Donnie and I are going to get together and some others hopefully soon and talk about is there's a lot. We have a lack of labor in the trades, and I think that it's a good pathway. It can be.
That's great.
for young people, and particularly getting involved with some of the new technologies around resiliency and climate and energy efficiency, and as well as swinging the hammer. So
forget doctor, lawyer, engineer. Doctor, lawyer, attorney. Oh, that's the same thing. Let's go to the trades, man.
Yeah, because
let's go to the trades.
It's come to a point where like we were talking, on the Zooms, at our meetings about, BOCES is not talked about enough.
Right.
About the trades.
Right.
I had a good career in the trades. Took care of my family. Pension, annuity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there is bridge at the end of that, or light at the end of that tunnel, but people just don't look at it because they want the glamorized job.
Yeah. We got about a minute left. I mean, this could go on for hours. One thought I have is, are there folks doing some visioning about this, going forward? I mean, get people at a table, the right folks, whoever the right folks are, and come up with a housing plan. Is there one such existing?
There is. There's been a lot of efforts, and too often, people that get around the table, we're all pretty well housed and we go home at night. But there's more people gaining voice. Businesses want to come to the table. We should, all kinds of groups can help to convene and commit to showing up. We're still left with infrastructure and zoning. We've got to change our zoning. We've got to have more infrastructure built. Those two elements, you can't plan around that. You can't talk about that.
You got to make some change.
You got to take some action.
Okay. Kevin O'Connor, exec, CEO, czar of Rupco, thank you, man. Thank you for being who you are and what you do and the passion you bring.
Thanks for the interest in housing. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Reverend Mapes, this has been a pleasure.
All right. We're going to do it again.
Yes, sir. Right? Yes, sir. We're going to light it up again. Thank you so much. Everybody, do a random act of kindness out there.
That's right.
Right? Somebody you don't know or somebody you do know.
Yeah.
All right?
A smile.
Smile.
Open the door.
Open the door. It's all it takes. Lawrence, thank you. Everybody have a good weekend.